What's up, YouTube? What's up, Extreme Gains family? I'm Chuck. This is Extreme Gains. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. What a day. Today is Monday, March 28th, 2022, and this is the Amc Gme and SPY Algo Exposed daily update and preparation video for tomorrow and beyond. Holy shit, y'all. What a day, what a day, what a day. Congratulations to everybody that weathered the storm. If this price action came and picked you up today, congrats. If your portfolio went green, congrats. For those of you that made this just bonkers extreme gains in the live chat, in my private discords, just unbelievable. Literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. Individuals, I would be hard pressed not to believe millions just in this community here. Hashtag Extreme Gains fam, killing it. Unbelievable, y'all. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. What a great thing to experience and to watch come full circle. So if you are in that money-making bracket right now and you made some today, congrats. Take a breath, enjoy it, you deserve it. And yeah, freaking awesome. Exciting to see what could potentially be coming here. I want to dig into my normals here, my snake algo, the macro comparatives for all three, Amc, Gme, and SPY, and go over them and see if I can somehow make some sense of this. So with that said, let's dig in. All right, on your screen currently is my, excuse me, snake algo for Amc. Before I get started, the snake I had pulled leading into today, obviously with a 44.9% move to the upside, blew right out of it. I did not have that projected with the snake that I had overlaid today for Amc whatsoever. That is a complete detachment and diversion from that, which, like I said, with this chain linking would lead me to believe that then today, if I got an indicator, which I did, and you all know that, then I would pull another one today. So I went ahead and pulled what would be the snake today. And this is it right here. Here's the replication and fulfillment, or projection and fulfillment of Friday's and now today's movements, and what could potentially be future projected movements based off of that if today's snake is the snake that we continue to follow. Now, with that being said, I want to zoom out here and I want to take a look. I had somebody who's been here for quite a while asked me today, Chuck, what about box tops? Are you not doing box top? Yeah, I'm doing box top. I told you that today. I kind of, razzed back with you a little bit, but my Discord's full of box top stuff. But out here, I kind of don't really do that too much out here. However, I will in this scenario because it does become relevant with this macro move to the upside and this breakout of the macro descending wedge finally, and what it could be moving forward. And I want to look at levels going up that way, hopefully in an attempt to stay out in front of this thing and by using my own methods, which is what I've done this entire time. So here is the overall generalized perspective of the entire macro movements from all of 2021 until current time. And I have, I guess, mega macro box top this, right, in one way. This is the third here for that. I did a mid box top on this previously that we had talked about, and it is right here. And look where we hit today. I'm going to move the snake so you can see this. Look where we hit today in box top. Dead on the mid third pull. So we know what happens then. Now, looking at the snake that I got from today, if today's snake and diversion and indicator is going to be valid and project, sorry, I'm trying to get it there, and fulfill itself like previous snakes have done, I would expect a somewhat of a compressed W, a breakout, confirmation, continuation to upside over that. But it's going to have to give me that compressed W at some point. Obviously, on a smaller time frame, it's going to give me that to get the bullish movement and have continuation to upside through that macro third or that mid third. Then the mega third where does it come in back into play at? Look at this with today's potential snake. If this were to continue moving upside, the next third and the mega macro third comes into play up here at right around the $55 mark. So I would expect if this snake were to be valid, and if these third pulls on the box top setups, both mid and macro, were to be valid, obviously the mid is already it's already respected that and shown itself as valid. A breakthrough that, you all know what I like to see, compress W, and then continuation to upside. If then it does that and it gives me confirmation and continuation above that level, the next level up I'm looking at from a macro box top perspective would be up here around the $55 area. Obviously, just from a significant level of support and resistance, there are some levels in here that would need to be identified and probably realized by price action on the way up. I do not believe for a second, and I know from a zoomed out perspective, it looks like a straight shot up, but obviously it is not. There is some consolidative moves within that and identifying and realizing of certain significant levels on the way up. I could go ahead and establish them before tomorrow. I wanted to get this video out. I'll have the levels in before the live stream tomorrow in the morning. We'll take a look at them in the morning review before the market opens. But that's what I'm looking at from, excuse me, potentially the snake Algo. And here's the view of the snake on the 15-minute. I moved that right there. And the mid box top. And I'm going to pull that in a little bit. Oh, shit. Here I go. Messing everything up. Here he goes. Here he goes again. So there you go. I would expect that to do exactly what I said. Breakthrough, come back, confirmation, show continuation to upside, and then potentially get that move to the upside. That's the snake on the 15-minute, and I just showed you the macro. Now, the macro comparative for AMC. I guess the two that I was looking at going into today, excuse me. The first one being the overall macro comparative from the macro descending wedge prior to the January 2021 run-up back here. That's been overlaid in its entirety on the current macro descending wedge that we've been in for the last approximately 10 months until today. I looked at this last night with you all on the video and again this morning and talked about how it appeared to me that this move here to the upside had been stuffed and that this was making its swing move around here, this little curl around, and then it would potentially go and follow this parabolic move up out of here, as you can see, that it has now followed. The indication from this is obviously a little different as far as what the snake is indicating. Overall, in the first few movements, it is indicating potentially the same, just at a different level. This is obviously indicating a pullback, then the compress W, then continuation to upside, and a break of that mid third. However, this one here, if it continues to follow this macro overlay and fractal, which would be the replicated movements from January of last year till May and June of last year, we would see something obviously different than a continuation of parabolic move to the upside like the potential snake right now is showing. As well, keep in mind, these snakes, these micro snakes have been interchanging. So only a portion of that snake I'm expecting to potentially fulfill. Not the entire thing by no stretch of the imagination. If it does, great. If this thing goes absolutely parabolic again tomorrow and I get to sing, this is it. That song, somebody said it was Huey Lewis. If I get to start singing that tomorrow, I'm good. Listen, man, I am good being wrong to the upside. I'm okay with that. Everyone makes money. It's all good. The last thing I'm going to do is be wrong to the downside. And the last thing I'm going to do is blow smoke up your ass to the upside. That is the road that I have decided to take. And real quick, while I'm ranting, for some of you people that have been coming into my live streams trying to like bust my jaw, oh man, would you sell puts or something? Is this dude selling puts? I have cancer, dumbass. And some days I don't feel the best, bro. All right, so back the fuck off me a little bit, man. I'm doing my best. I'm pushing through this shit. All right, chill out, man. Dial back, some of you motherfuckers, man, for real. You guys are out of pocket. Anyways, sorry, y'all. I needed to address that. It was bugging the shit out of me today. People come in there talking about I'm selling puts. What the fuck is wrong with you? All right, anyways, that's what I'm looking at from the macro comparative of the macro descending wedge prior to the January 2021 run-up. Now, what I also had looked at with you all is the big brother, little brother, big brother, little brother fractal that I showed you all previously, and we looked at it last night briefly, and I talked about the mid third that would potentially get hit here, as well as then the next macro box top, which the small one would be there, but this would be the next macro box top, excuse me, that would become fulfilled here prior to it potentially breaking back down and consolidating if it were to follow just this repetitive algorithmic fractal repeat, right? Without the parabolic move. And then obviously macro level change before this starts over again. These are the fractals that this algo or these algos end up printing out as charts for AMC in this repetitive manner, both on micro and macro. This is one of them, and I have identified this as potentially being the one that we're in right now. Obviously, you can see what the indication here is, and we got that move to the upside today. Obviously, again, just like the other one, it's showing a breakdown, a compressed W followed by continuation to upside, but in this case, it does not breach that macro third level and consolidate above it. It rejects and it brings it right back down to the megaphone support, and then we get consolidation around that. Those are the three things I'm looking at totality wise. I know it's a bunch of different moving parts, but I believe, again, in an attempt to stay out in front of this thing and be prepared for everything and surprised by nothing, which is my MO in life, and I use it here as well. So I like to look at these multiple scenarios and be on top of it no matter what happens. So that is what I'm looking at with AMC completely going into tomorrow and beyond. Man, this is going to be a longer one. Real quick, I'm going to fly through GME. Real quick. Same thing with the snake today with GME. However, GME snake was a little cleaner. It did indicate more of the upside. However, I went ahead, it did divert. I clipped today's snake from it in anticipation that that diversion could have or could potentially have meant a new snake needed clipped. Obviously, here it is. I clipped it. There you go. Movements moving forward, projection moving forward with GME potentially according to this micro to macro snake. With that snake in mind, zooming out, I'm going to move the macros. Same thing happens here. There are 2/3 for box top. Here's the W. I had it mapped out for a long time that this double-double for both AMC and GameStop were going to happen. Go back in the videos and check it out, man. Called for 18, 15, and 12 on AMC. I showed you a couple different scenarios, yes, but one of them was the 18, 15, 12, long before I even come up with the giant macro that could, in the extended version, that could take us down to $7-ish, which thank God we never did get to see. But again, all in preparation to stay out in front of this thing and be prepared for everything. Anyways, there are 2 macro thirds I'm looking at for level change here, as well as the significant normal TA significant levels of support and resistance that I will map in there before tomorrow's market open, and we can go over those prior to market open tomorrow. There is the mid third that is obviously higher from the previous box top. This is actually kind of the macro and then a mega. I call it macro and mega. So this is the macro third from the previous box top before the breakdown in macro W. And here it is up top. We have not realized or respected that yet. And then there is the mega, if I'm using all of this as the box top and breakdown and W, which is potentially there. That mega, we have not quite hit yet. Very, very close to hitting. If we were, I would expect the exact same thing from the snake with GME as I expect from AMC. So that is GME's snake. Here's GME's macro big brother macro comparative that I had showed you also in last night's video. And it's hard to get this thing completely in here where it belongs, but I'm going to go ahead and manipulate it enough to where you can see what it is that I'm intending on showing you. Showed the consolidation here and rejection, the move up, which is right here. And obviously this shows from the previous fractal that I copied it from, a gap up, little bit of volatility here before the next leg up. And then the thirds do come into focus there with their significance, whereas price action, according to this, would respect them in the place that they're in right now. So that's what I'm looking at with a macro comparative for GME as well. Now SPY, real quick, 15 minutes. I'm trying to hum here, guys and gals. Thank you for hanging out real quick. The macro comparative for SPY is still the macro comparative from the 08-09 correction and then crash in what I've coined and called the extended version that we've been following here for quite some time. It is still on the table. It has not quite outshot this yet. It is still within range. If it does show continuation to upside above probably 465, then I'm going to have to reevaluate the positioning and or what I talked to you all about in last night's video. There is a couple alternate placements of this that I'm looking at and tracking within my premium Discord, one of which would show this going bull heavy to potentially all-time highs. So if we were to get a continuation, I think I'd have to look and double check the levels. I think above 465 or at the 465 level, I would then want to potentially start looking at that out here publicly with you to keep all of us in tune together and on the same page. That way my mind can stay on point as well, and I'm not trying to juggle a bunch of different things on a bunch of different platforms. So that's the macro comparative. Obviously, the indication of this extended version and placement is downside initially and macro generalized perspective. From a snake perspective on this one as well, this snake is from 2 Tuesdays ago, right there. And in my opinion, we are still following this. I talked to y'all about this today in the live stream, how the movements replicated the projection, just not at the level, just like it had done previously here, but replicated up, curve down, right? Same thing here. And I use this as a teaching tool to show you what it is that I mean when I say having a generalized perspective of macro movements and of it not being candle for candle and it being a projected suggested path from previous historical movement. Price action literally replicated this movement in its entirety. However, it did not to the levels in which it's indicating it doing it at. It is a projected path of movements. That's it, y'all. That is what I've been trying to get across. So that was a good thing to be able to use today midstream and hopefully define that a little bit for some of y'all if that was a confusing point for you. However, obvious indication from the current snake that is still, in my opinion, on the table, heavy upside for SPY. Complete opposite of what the macro comparative is showing. I believe one way or the other tomorrow, we will get an answer, or I will get an answer as to whether or not this snake it becomes diverted from and invalidated to where I would need to pull a new one, or if the macro comparative needs to be reevaluated in its positioning or potentially invalidated and bringing the new one out, one of the other overlayment positions out. So that's SPY. That's everything I got, y'all. That was 20 minutes. Sorry to keep you longer than usual. Just wanted to go through a couple of them. Had to explain where I'm at with this stuff and where we were at when we left the live stream, and where I've taken it to this point and where we may or may not be going tomorrow potentially based on that information. So I appreciate you all. Again, congratulations. Big up to everybody that made money. You deserve it. Pat yourselves on the back. Congrats, congrats, congrats. I will be live here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. from market open to market close. We did come out today. Like I said, a man of my word. I said if we were to pop off, I'd be out here. Same goes for tonight. If that happens even in this last hour and or tomorrow morning in pre-market, make sure you have notifications turned on. If that happens, we'll be coming out live right here on YouTube so we can all be together. If not, I'll be live here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. from market open to market close. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Later.